Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for hanging out for another Memory Planning Monday Project Life video. If you'd like to see what I'm going to do this week, stick around. Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. So today I am going to be working in my project life. It's week 39. I'm using items from Ellie Edwards, supported by a few things here and there from Paper Person Shop, Studio Calico, you know the deal. The top 3 companies that I use. So I'm just going to show you real quick, and then I'm going to edit it out, that this was the title card I intended to use, which is a 4x6 card from the Work Story Kit, which is mostly what I'm using for this week. And I loved the quote on the front. I can't read it right now, but I totally screwed up the stamping and I smudged the ink. So I had to trash it and start from scratch. Oh yeah, a dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. And I loved it because this week was all about focusing on Norah's cheer competition. That was the weekend, during the weekend. And so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm going to stamp the week on here, and then that's going to be my title card. Well, I completely ruined it. So I'm going to edit this out and fast forward to the updated version. So, ta-da, I used this pattern paper that was part of the work kit. I trimmed it down to be a 4x6 card, and I took this computer monitor, which I thought was perfect for the work theme. I don't remember what story kit this came with. Sorry, it's an older one from last year. But it says work on it, so I think that's perfect. And so I just stamped the week, and then those are alphas from Ellie Edwards, and then the numbers come from Studio Calico. And I'm going to use a Faber-Castell like white paint pen to fill in the numbers because I just wanted them to pop a little bit more. I think it turned out really cute. And then I'm just going to add a few puffy stickers to that and call that title card good. It was really hard for me not to use anything else because I love to over embellish, but I thought that the background of that paper was busy enough. So I love these little puffy character stickers from American Greetings. I think that's who makes them. Got them at Target, totally influenced by Jenny Garcia, who uses them in her Project Life videos. So I use these throughout the entire week, and all those puffy hearts and stars are from Paper Person Shop. I love the quality and the just the way they feel, the way they look. I love the Paper Person Shop puffy stickers. They're my fave. So I used those, kind of going with like a star theme throughout. And then this first photo is Monday. Norah didn't have school. I think it was Yom Kippur. So she had a sleepover Sunday night, and that's one of her best friends, Abby, who's in a lot of these videos because she's over a lot and we spend a lot of time together. And so I took them to lunch and I just journaled quickly about that. And the washi is this black washi with white stars from According to Allie. It's my favorite. And I'm going to also use red and black word phrase stickers from Ellie Edwards. They are from older, I think one might be from the work, the black ones might be from the work release, but then the red ones are from an older January collection. They were like an add-on at one point, so I just put them in my cart because I love her word phrase stickers. So anyways, this other photo is I captured Jeeves and Smokey both asleep on the couch. Now, granted, they're not anywhere near each other, really. Like, Jeeves is on the blanket on the couch, and Smokey is in what used to be Jeeves's favorite perch. But normally they're, like, wrestling and trying to kill each other. So this was a win, and I walked out in the living room, and I was like, this is so cute. I have to take a picture. So that's the two of them sound asleep. I have finally decided to use this piece of chipboard that says highs and lows because those are the highs and lows. Like, the high is this picture and the lows is that they're constantly fighting. Also, Smokey's always trying to eat Jesus' food. So I decided, like, that's pretty cute. I like the chipboard. I don't need to add anything underneath it. I just want to put like these little geotags above each cat. I thought that was kind of funny. And I also use the geotag on the picture of Norah and Abby, and I'm going to use them throughout the spread as well, which it's kind of like, hey, look here, look at this part of the photo. And so now I'm going to journal about what's going on this week around the house. just some different things that, I was working on, and I'm going to use just some more of these little puffy stickers as bullet points. Okay, so now we are moving on to this picture of Smokey. Two different photos. I created this little collage of him inside this wicker basket and then him inside the tub because he loves the tub and he's fascinated by water. And it's just so funny, like after you take a shower, he has to jump in the tub and sit in there and try and he just stares at everything. So I love these two photos of him, and I just took that sticker that says captured. Like, haha, saw you, caught you in there. And then this star paper I've been saving it. It's from Paper Person Shop from like I think the March documenter kit. I trim it down. It's perfect. It goes with the star theme. It's the right shade of red. It's perfect for, the Norah's Cheer Squad, which is red, black, and white. So it was just the perfect paper to use. I knew I was going to bring it in for this week. And so I'm trying to figure out how the heck to embellish this. I'm like, should I use chipboard? Should I use stamps? Should I cut down a smaller piece of cardstock? Like, I don't know. So you'll see I shuffle through a lot of things, and I do edit some of that out and finally decide to grab this little piece of paper that's left over and trim it down to look like kind of a washi strip to bring in more of that pattern. And then I layer it. I first was like, should I add the black washi? No, that's too much. These patterns are really crazy. And so I'm just gonna keep it simple, even though the patterns are wild together, and just add the word phrase on the acetate there. I staple it with my tiny attacher. And then the last thing I do is add a word phrase strip to the bottom center of that faux washi strip. And I think it's perfect. I mean, I wasn't sure at all what I was going to do with that card. So I think it brings in, a good amount of red, and then it goes along with the theme throughout the week, which is work. And that's what this is. I'm moving on to journaling about, which is a picture I took of the kiddos in the classroom. I spent a couple days subbing in this class. And so I'm just journaling about it, what I love about work and what I loathe about work. And, sadly, I would say the thing I loathe about work, because I sub, would be hearing all the negative talk that the teachers get engaged in or choose to engage in. I know it's hard. I know, there's a lot. It's a lot. Teaching is really difficult, but I kind of wish that I didn't overhear some of the things that I overheard. So that's really it. I love most things about it, and I'm just going to journal a tiny little bit, add this embellishment to cover up the table in the bottom left corner, and call that one good. I do like that I added the tiny white star to the front of the chipboard, which, by the way, I peeled down a lot of layers so that it doesn't get as thick and as bulky in this volume of my album. So that's the first page. The second page now, I am going to use this picture that my friend took of me where I was doing my spiel at our first back to school event for PTA. It was the back to school social. So I'm just addressing, all the people that were there in the gymnasium, which I hate doing. I always want to puke. And I forgot that I was going to layer it with this picture underneath. So I'm creating a flip up here. That's a screenshot and a very blurry, not wonderful picture of the back of Norah, who's turning to talk to her friend at her first ever sleepover and also the night before competition. And I don't know why and what possessed our beloved cheer coach to host all 18 girls for a sleepover the night before competition. Like, to me, that's a recipe for disaster. And it kind of was. But anyhow, I'm journaling about basically how she decided to stay overnight, and I couldn't believe it. And it was her first ever sleepover, so she didn't have anything with her. And had I even had it on my radar as it being a possible thing she'd want to do, I would have prepared an overnight bag just in case she changed her mind. But I never, ever thought in a million years that she would want to stay over, because she's never had a sleepover at any other house, especially not with all these other people, right? So I did my thing at the school back to school social, and then I drove over to the cheer coach's house. Her name's Morgan, and I helped clean up and, get Norah all situated. And I stayed until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then I drove home, passed out, and then the next morning at, 8 o'clock, drove back over and helped all the girls get ready for competition. We did their hair, we did the whole nine: fake lashes, gems on their faces, paw print, face paint, all kinds of things. So I'm journaling about just the chaos and the busyness of those 24 hours, and using that card that says the job I love most to talk about how much I enjoy, creating an environment at school for students to get to know each other better, for families to feel involved and connected, and just being the PTA president. So then, after I get all that journaling done, it was a lot of writing. I just quickly embellished this picture of Norah and her friend Sophie before competition, and they're waiting in the hallway to go out on into the gym with the cheer stamp set from Studio Calico that says my heart beats in 8 counts. And then for the work week card, I'm journaling about work things I did. Work related things for me means, subbing. It means PTA. It means my church work. It means helping coach cheer. So each day of the week, whatever I did that pertained to my work, I journaled quickly, very small, choppy bullets. And then the other pictures are all from the competition. They did place first, which was very exciting. That is not all her squad in the bottom 4x6 photo. Her squad is in the first row, first 2 rows, and then it's the seniors. She's in the juniors team, and then there's seniors, and then there's elite. So there's 3 different divisions that competed that day. And this picture I trimmed down is of Norah participating in the individual jump off, which is just like doing your best toe touches and all that kind of stuff. And I couldn't believe, again, that she chose to participate in this. Cheer has really given her so much confidence, which I absolutely love, and is something that my husband and I have been praying that, she would continue to grow in. So very thankful for Cheer for providing these learning opportunities for her. So I'm just going to stamp cheer competition, and I think it looks pretty good. I know I go back and add something to it later. What exactly it is, I'm not sure. But again, using the geotag to say, here's Norah, that's her in this photo of all the sea of girls that you see here. Stamp the date. Oh, toe touch. I put toe touch there. I was going to embellish this, but it's a quote that says, work on falling in love, or work on being in love with the person in the mirror who has been through so much but is still standing. I love that quote, and I didn't really want to cover it up. So in the end, I'm going to do some stamping on it, but I'm not really sure what to do with it, so I kind of just put it back. And oh no, I add a few puffy stickers in the O's, and then I'm like, oh, that's good, I'll just leave it. But I end up going back to stamp because I forgot to put first place on something. Which I wanted to definitely, have that pop and document that, yes, they got first place. They worked really hard. So I'm going to bring in another one, that other piece of faux washi from the cardstock scrap I have left over, to tie that pattern in on the right, and then use a couple of word phrase strips. I don't mind covering up the girls because they're not part of Norah's junior team. It's just all of the Bulldogs divisions all together. And because all the different divisions did place either first or second, which was very exciting. But I'm going to put the geotag right over Norah so we know that's where she is in the picture. And then this was after they competed, but while we were waiting. It's a whole day thing. It was like 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. It was crazy. So I stamped Cheer Life and then put a couple of puffy stickers. And I think, yeah, I'm going to journal a little bit on this label here. And then you're going to see that I go back to that 3x4 card with the that lovely quote on it in Allie's handwriting. And I want to use the stamp set from the same March kit, that paper person with that red star pattern paper. I think it was called Simply the Best. And I love this little badge or ribbon stamp. So I'm going to stamp in red. I think this is Candied Apple that I'm using, the Distress Oxide ink. So I stamp in red, and then I do stamp first in the middle, or number 1 in the middle, but it's hard to see. So I outline it with black ink. It's still hard to see though, but it is what it is. I got it across the point across on that card. And just in case, I did take my Faber-Castell paint pen and write over the trophy. So I'm going to stamp the trophy on the top right corner of this picture of Norah and Juliana, and then write first on top of it. So that is basically my entire spread for week number 39. And I will show you close-ups of the finished spread Yeah, I super love the way this turned out. It's mostly red, white, and black, so I think, it's busy, but it doesn't look too crowded. I like that I picked two different, like sort of themes. I combined work with also like the stars, and I love how the lens of work can be translated through my work, but also Nora working hard on cheer. So let me know if you have any questions about anything that I used. I tend not to link individual products in these videos because I use so many random things, but I'm always happy to share with you if you guys have questions about what I used. And you can always DM me over on Instagram as well, and I'll do my best to get that information for you. But that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching and for spending time with me. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, friends, and remember that you are enough. Bye.